Before I was a personal trainer, I was an outdoor instructor. So I took people mountaineering and I coached rock climbing and I taught people canoeing and kayaking and paddleboarding and all of those fun things. And for a long time, all those fun things were my hobbies, but also like a big part of my identity. But then, as you might already know, early menopause hit me like a ton of bricks. And that wasn't even the real problem. The real problem was that I also found out I'd developed osteopenia. So my bone density had dropped and I was on track to have osteoporosis by the time I was 35. Now, osteopenia has no symptoms, so I wasn't in pain, it didn't affect my joints, it didn't technically stop me from being able to do anything, but what it massively affected was my mindset. It hugely affected my confidence doing all my fun hobbies, because the idea of falling off my mountain bike, which was essentially a hobby in itself for how often I did it, that just filled me with dread, because as soon as I break a bone, I can't do my job, I'm not having any fun. It has a knock-on effect for possibly the rest of my life, right? It's a nightmare. So I gave up literally all my hobbies overnight. And that fear held me back for a really long time. And I'm sharing this today because I speak to so many women every single day who are feeling a really similar way. Their body's changing and they've had their confidence knocked. Maybe you've noticed your body's changing, maybe you're hesitant to do the things that you once loved, maybe just you know that osteoporosis runs in your family and it's terrifying to think that that might affect you as well. But what if I told you that just 60 minutes a week of one habit changed everything for me? Not only did I manage to reverse my osteopenia and end up with a stronger skeleton than I think I've ever had, I also gained back my confidence, my identity, and if it doesn't sound too woo-woo, I found this reconnection with my body. So today I'm going to share my personal story and tell you about this simple, powerful habit that can hopefully do the same for you. I'm Sally. I've been a coach for the last 15 years for women over 40, and as I've already told you, I went through early menopause, I lost my bone density, but thankfully I have regained that back. So I've got my energy back, I've got my strength back, I've lost the 5 stone that I gained during perimenopause, and most importantly, I've built my bone density back too. I've made it my mission to make strength training as simple and accessible for women as possible, because it is so confusing and overwhelming when you look on the internet, and it really doesn't have to be that complicated at all. So the game-changing habit that improved everything for me, you've probably already guessed it, was progressive strength training. Now, with just 1 hour a week of focused strength work, I rebuilt my muscle mass, my bone density, but also just like my belief in what my body could do. Strength training is really effective for rebuilding bone density in all those important areas like your hips and your spine. And as much as aim number 1 is to prevent any fractures or even improve your balance to stop falls in future, ultimately it also leads to you having a stronger and more capable body that you can have more fun with. I want every single client that I work with to build a physically capable and resilient body that can handle whatever you want to throw at it. Now, at one point during perimenopause, I stopped all exercise, but when I restarted, within just a few weeks of starting strength training again, I felt my energy improved, I felt that brain fog start to lift, and it gave me this headspace, this time that was just for me, that gave me real peace of mind that I knew I was doing the right thing for my body and to future-proof it for the decades ahead. Now, for a long time, all those outdoor adventure sports were my way of connecting with my body and really finding some headspace. When you are clinging onto a rock face, you cannot do anything but be in that moment. You are not thinking about work stress. You can't replay any conversations in your head while you're paddling down a rapid. Now, I didn't realize how much I was missing that, but strength training gave me that focus back. I created a little safe haven just for myself, a little space that was cleared in the house where I could just focus on lifting my weights and doing nothing else. It's time where you can focus on what your body's doing, you can focus on your breathing, your technique, your effort level. There is nothing to pack or organize or plan. You can just show up and get it done for 20 minutes, 30 minutes, 60 minutes, whatever works for you. That is time just for you to focus on future-proofing your body, creating some headspace, and hopefully coming out feeling miles better for it. Now, our skeletons regenerate by around 10% every year, which means that by the end of each decade, you have an entirely new skeleton. So researchers used to think that you couldn't reverse bone loss. Once you had osteoporosis, that was it. But that's all now been completely debunked, and I'm walking proof. Now, if you can accumulate 60 minutes over the course of each week, there is research to prove that that will make a difference to your bone density. More is a bonus, but whether it's 2 half hours or 3 20 minutes, if you can accumulate 60 minutes of strength training per week, you can be laying down new bone, which will mean that in 10 years' time, you could literally have a stronger skeleton than you've ever had before. So I'm now lucky enough to be in a position where I know that if I want to go back on those adventures and do all those fun things again, I can be confident that my skeleton can handle it, but also because of all this strength work, my body can handle it. I have the fitness level and the muscle mass and the strength and energy to go and tackle whatever adventure I want to go on. And that is exactly what I want for every single one of my clients. You don't need to spend hours in the gym. Even 1 hour a week can make a massive difference. Because as cheesy as it sounds, we only get one body. It's literally our home. It's where we live. And we need to look after it as best we can. Now, if you are wondering how on earth you get started, there are some links in the description of this video for some free downloads. You can do a free trial of my Strength Essentials program. There's a bunch of stuff there that you can get started as simply and as straightforwardly as possible. Strength training doesn't need to be complicated. The internet and the fitness industry love to make it sound intimidating and scary, but it can be as simple as a couple of pairs of dumbbells at home. So check out those links, and if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit like and subscribe so you can see more videos like this. Let me know if you have any questions at all. Happy to share whatever is helpful, and I'll hopefully see you soon.